Today, Stamford native Marianna Capomolla Linnehan will become the first pure defensive player among 14 volleyball inductees in the Alumni Hall of Fame. A transfer from the Division II level, Marianna was named to the All-Little East team in each of her 3 seasons in Willimantic. She was twice named Little East Defensive Player of the Year, First Team All-Little East, and Little East Tournament MVP. And in 2006, the team captain was selected to the Nuva Senior Classic. Through 2020, Marianna remains Eastern's only 2-time Little East Tournament MVP and the only Eastern player named LEC Defensive Player of the Year even once. Marianna appeared in 391 of a possible 420 sets in her career, setting a program season record as a junior by appearing in 142 sets and helping the Warriors to a share of their second straight Little East regular season title and to their first of 3 straight Little East Tournament championships. In only 3 years, Marianna set the current program record in digs and remains the only player in program history with as many as 1,900. Additionally, she is one of only 6 players to ever record as many as 200 career service aces. Since digs became an official Eastern statistic 32 years ago, 6 times a player has recorded as many as 40 in a match. Marianna owns 3 of those 40 dig matches, including the top 2.
Hello, my name is Jolie Ward, and it is my honor to speak on behalf of Marianna Capomolla Linnehan. As her coach at Eastern and as a mentor, I can say that Marianna is well deserving of this recognition due to her contributions to the program, but also because of her true love and passion for the game of volleyball. Little did I know back in 2004 that this undersized outside hitter would help propel Eastern back into its glory days of conference championships and NCAA appearances. Although this was my goal as a first-year head coach, the truth is Marianna was potentially a transfer student that I initially knew very little about. After meeting with her on campus for the first time, I thought to myself that this kid will never make the cut. Well, needless to say, I was wrong. From the moment she stepped onto the court, you could see the shift from this goofball prankster into this fierce competitor that played with passion. Although her desire to be a front row player never came to fruition, she claimed her role as a libero in the first week of her very first preseason and never relinquished it. Ultimately, she didn't care what role she played. She just wanted to be out on the court competing. Despite her small stature, Marianna had a competitive drive and love for the game that made her a bigger player than anyone else in the gym. She would sacrifice her body on a regular basis to earn every point, not only in game time, but in every practice. Marianna's underlying commitment to earn the points motivated everyone around her to work just as hard to be successful. Her teammates witnessed her effort and knew that she would be in the backcourt doing her job so they could do theirs. She literally and figuratively had their backs. As a result, all of the players around her improved and became better, which ultimately led to our team's successes. Although Marianna was intense, she also possessed the skill of knowing how to lighten the mood in stressful times. She knew how and when to motivate her teammates. Honestly, one of Marianna's greatest skills as a leader is her humor. It allowed her teammates to enjoy the game as much as she did. She was a fearless player with a large personality. She exuded confidence while also being coachable, and most importantly, she was the hardest working player on the court. It was my privilege to coach her and a delight to mentor her in her early years of coaching. She has since continued on in her coaching journey and has found great success. This comes as no surprise to me, especially since Marianna's love for the game has always been apparent and contagious and a driving force for her achievements. I know she will continue to thrive, and I can foresee a time in the very near future when she will be holding up a state title trophy.
As a high school player, Marianna played all around for us. There was no libero back then, so she was an outside hitter and she was our best passer and probably our best server.
Marianna as a player was an amazing defensive player. She came in as an outside player from her old school and transitioned into the libero position.
Marianna was the type of leader that it wasn't about her talk or what she said, it was about her play. She led by example, definitely.
What Marianna brought to the team is very good sense of, motivation. She was very driven and goal-oriented on the court.
The thing about Marianna is her intensity. As when the game started, Marianna was there. The ball was not going to hit the ground.
I knew having her in the back row, anywhere that ball went, she was there.
She had a great relationship with her teammates. They called themselves the Crazy Eights. We had 8 seniors at the time, and they were crazy, and she was the leader.
Marianna on and off the court was definitely 2 different people. Very similar, but definitely different. On the court, she was laser focused and determined to make sure that, whatever she was going for, she achieved. And she was very similar off the court as well, as far as being goal oriented and wanting to achieve what she wanted to achieve. But she had a very more laid back, comedic type of personality.
When Marianna came to Eastern and I talked to her, I saw how happy she was, and I think it was a perfect fit for her. Her sister at the time was playing for me, Sophia, and Sophia was a really good player also, and she had good stats. So when we would win, I would call the paper and get her name in the paper. But Eastern kept sending out press releases where Marianna was Defensive Player of the Week. And after about the 4th time, I called her up. I said, can you just name the award after you, so give it to somebody else, so your sister could get some publicity in town?
Marianna and I became really good friends because we both were transfers to Eastern the same year. I think we both realized that we had the same competitiveness in us. We had the same drive, and we both kind of clicked it off with our personalities being very similar as well. So Marianna and I were in college together. We both started coaching a club team in Connecticut, and I could definitely see that she was destined to be a coach and have volleyball in her life for a very long time.
A few years after graduation, I can't remember the timeline, but she was named head coach at West Hill High School, and there are rivals in town, unfortunately for us. Marianna changed the culture at West Hill, turned it into a sport that people wanted to play, and they were in the state finals 2 years in a row. She was voted Coach of the Year 2 years in a row also. So she took that program from nothing and turned it into one of the top programs in the state of Connecticut.
At this time, it gives me great pleasure to present as a 2021 inductee into the Eastern Connecticut State University Athletics Alumni Hall of Fame, Marianna Capomolla Linnehan.